pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Gareon Conley, defensive back, Ohio State.
What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to Best Damn Media, Buckeye BS on this Sunday morning. We got a very special episode today. We got Gareon Conley, BIA, Buckeye great member in the building. So how's it going, everybody? Make sure you hit that like button and let's jump into it. Gareon, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Appreciate y'all having me on.
For
Of
sure.
course,
Glad
appreciate
to have you, man.
Appreciate having you. Hey, they honestly told me last minute. I didn't know you was showing up. I was like, wait, we got what tomorrow?
Cam on mute talking, bro. Dang.
Yeah, man.
I hit him in a group chat yesterday, and I'm like, bro, we got Gareon coming on. He was like, oh, word? I got my questions together, bro.
I have my idea for the show. I
Big
just
hype.
circle back. Yeah, man.
That's what's up, though. Appreciate you coming on, bro, for sure.
Yeah.
Happy to have you. Yeah.
Camera,
so
like,
what we gonna do is we got some questions we're gonna ask them in the chat. If you have questions, I want you to put it up there. We'll try to jump into those and get those up here too. Let me adjust this camera real quick. But yeah, so excited to have them, and obviously this is a special moment for us. We're growing and moving, so let's continue the train rolling. Ron, I want to start with you. I know you had the first leadoff question, so I'll let you get the first crack at it to ask. So go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, so my role with BDMG has become like the Gene Smith guy. So every time Gene says something or does something, we have a video about it. So we just wanted to get your thoughts on his most recent comments saying that the game is just one game, and he finds it funny how fans are reacting to these two most recent losses.
Around in this rivalry after a couple losses here to road to Michigan.
Yeah, it's so funny. Everybody's so focused on, just one game.
So as Buckeye fans, all of us were taken back when we heard that, because to us it's not just one game. So we just wanted to get your thoughts when you hear the athletic director say things like that with a rivalry that's so storied.
Yeah, I mean, one game, it is one game, but it's one of the biggest games like of the program. Like when we get there, shit, even in recruiting, they talk about playing the team up north, like that game and how much it means to the program and the tradition. I mean, when you walk in the building, there's a clock that says how many days until we play the team up north. Like, I mean, if it's just one game, I don't think it'd be shit like that in the locker room, in the building. I don't think they would cross out M's all around campus on the buildings and have fucking M's in the toilets and the urinals in the bathroom that we peeing on. Like, I mean, yeah, it's one game, but it's one important ass game. So like, it's give and take on how he's saying it. But I mean, I feel like they always tell us like this game defines the program. Cause like shit, if we was 0-11 or they was 0-11 when we play each other, it's like we 11-0. Like, so it don't even matter. But I mean, to each his own. But as me, I take it personal that game for sure. And the fact that I was committed there, they threatened to pull my scholarship. I decommitted and whooped their ass 4 times in a row.
They try to threaten, they try to give you an ultimatum, like, bro.
Yeah.
So you said it there for me. You have a 4-0 record against a team up north. What's it been like as a former player that's had so much success against that team to have to watch these losses these past 2 years and not being able to do anything about it except for just sit back and watch? So what's that been like for you to see these past 2 losses?
And that shit hurt. And I got friends that's Team Up North fans, family members, like, man, they talk so much shit. But just, I don't know, bro. Like, it's just been, I guess we've been spoiled by beating them. And just, I don't even know how to feel sometimes. Like, I be pissed all the time when I think about it, but it just feel weird to lose to them. But more so, I mean, 2 in a row pissed me off, but last year's loss is really what like pissed me the fuck off, because the way it just looked like we just backed down type shit. Like the effort was more than just the execution, and just like not knowing what to do or just crazy ass plays that just like we beat ourselves type shit. Like they didn't beat us.
Yeah, we gave up all those explosive plays in the
Yeah, you know what I'm
secondary to
saying?
a team that doesn't really have an
I
explosive
and it was
offense on
all
that
eye
level.
discipline, bro. And it's
Yeah.
like I understand like people were saying. So I don't remember what down it was, but I remember it was a cover zero, and the corner was off, and he missed the tackle on somebody, and they either
Cam Brown.
scored.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
scored,
third
or
down.
did he score?
Yeah, he scored.
Yeah,
he
so he
did.
scored, right?
80 yards to the
Look,
crib.
so he scored. All right, bye. So look, when he scored, right? So cover zero. All the DBs know we're in zero. So if we don't break up the ball, we got to get them on the ground. Or if I'm in cover zero, I know outside corner, I got to force him inside if I do miss the tackle because all my pursuit is coming from inside. So the fact that it's cover zero, maybe it was a bad call at the time, cool. But it's not a touchdown bad call. It's a bad call, maybe a first down, if that. Because if I go miss the tackle, I got to miss it outside so my inside leverage teammates is coming in. Like shit like that. Like that's just shit we got to know. That's not on the coach's call. That's not on the team up north being better. Like that's just on us. The one with the safety, we did like an out and up, and the receivers actually ran into each other. The team up north receivers ran into each other. There's no way you can't cover that. And his eyes is bad, looking in the backfield, wide open. Like that's shit that we control. That's not them beating us. And then
Right.
like in the long ass run in the second half, when it just looked like we just gave up, like just shit like that. That's what pissed me off. Like it ain't about making a bad call or this and that. Like that shit just pissed me off because that's self-inflicted wounds.
So we hear the stories about Urban. And you hear that he ran hot as a coach, and the level of accountability that he demanded. What do you think the building would have been like after a loss under Urban to that team, and what do you think the practices would have been
Man,
like
what?
with Urban?
Man,
That's
practice
a
would have
fucking
been
crazy
4 hours
question.
long, nigga. We would have been honestly, because we practice. I don't know if they still do it, but we practice Sunday after the game. But it don't be pads; it'd be like helmets.
Yeah.
The meeting would have been long as shit for sure. Niggas would have been yelling all over that shit. Our meeting would have been long as a position coach or position group, and then practice would have been like 3 hours, 4 hours long on a Sunday, just because you would have been in that bitch till at least 9:30.
I have one more
But that's
question
just one game.
about that game that
One
wasn't
game.
in the show notes, but after that most recent loss in the shoe, they planted a flag on the block O. What would have been the reaction to any of your teams if that would have happened? And which player on your former teams do you think would have been the most upset or enraged by that act?
You got to rumble.
I
That's the only
mean,
way.
yeah, we got to work, bro. Like, got to. And I don't even. What's crazy is I don't even believe in like fighting the pads because like
Yeah.
you punching the helmet, it's just like, but we got to go slam some niggas or something. Like,
Like, bro, you gotta get it.
break
Break
the
it
flag,
down.
like go get the flag, hit them with the flag, something, bro. Like that shit disrespectful, bro. But I mean, I feel like every team I was on would have been on that, but and for sure the defense, every defense I've been on for sure. But I feel like every team I was on, everybody was ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. Hopefully we see that type of energy next time we see them boys in November, because I mean these past 2 years have been disrespectful and we got to get our get back.
Yeah, I mean, but like, so that as far as like the flag playing and shit, I think that's just like a generation thing. Like, and not saying I'm like the oldest person, but it's just like none of that shit was happening when I was in college. Like, it wasn't no planting no flags from anybody. Nobody was doing no shit like that. Maybe you go on their logo and like yell and get your chant or whatever type shit, but it wasn't like no plant flags. Like, I feel like
Right.
Bro,
the
them niggas had a
disrespect is
whole
just
photo
rising
shoot,
right
bro.
now. Yeah, the
They
disrespect
did.
Bro, they put
Yeah,
that
they
shit in their
doing-
library, bro. They have a mural and shit in
Yeah,
their
bro.
library of them taking a photo shoot
Yeah.
on the block O, bro. Like,
But,
That shit is crazy.
Gareon, man, Ohio State fans have been like, man, we get all of these guys, from all different parts of, the United States and stuff, and they don't understand, the rivalry sometimes, or they're just learning about it because, they committed to Ohio State or they're at Ohio State. How important do you think it is to have a core group of guys from Ohio? Because I just remember, and been thinking about, like, we have those core group of guys from Ohio. We're
Yeah.
always competing for national championships, but we're also not losing to that team up north.
Yeah. So as far as me personally, I didn't know nothing about it. I wasn't playing football. I wasn't into football. Didn't know nothing about the rivalry like before I got there. But like I said, even with recruiting, like I learned about the rivalry that early. Like I learned about it when I was committed to them. Like so,
Mm-hmm.
but the fact of like being from Ohio, I feel like you take more pride in it. Not even just the rival, but just playing at Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, people coming from around the country, they not knowing about the rival, but they not knowing about the tradition of Ohio State. And just not being from Ohio, you don't really understand like the difference. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
I feel like I mean you got the people that like the team up north that's from Ohio, whatever, whatever. But shit, even they understand how important the rival is, like whether they're on the other side or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I feel um like I said, the generation is just changing, bro. So like I live in Houston and I train my stepson. He's 16. I train him and some of his teammates. And then I had my camp in Ohio last week. Um, but it's just like there's so much access in California, Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, because they got spring ball, they got trainers, like all this shit. Like Ohio has a lot of talent, but there's just not enough like access for them to have. Like I don't know. I think Duran is, and then my cousin, but he moved here. I think there's the only two trainers for football that I know in Ohio. So like, there's a lot more access and resources in other places. So a lot of like players are getting better now. So I feel like
That's
that's why they're transitioning from Ohio. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they still need to like go and dig in Ohio because there's a lot of players that have a lot of talent. They just need coaching.
Right.
that's what we were talking about earlier. As far as like the spring ball situation
Yeah,
with,
man,
I mean,
shit's
since we're on the
crazy, bro.
topic, like, yeah, so we're talking about the
It's
spring ball
crazy.
situation in Ohio, how we're, because I know you went to Houston and
Yeah,
like you play football down there. You're talking about the resources. There's a
yeah,
lot of kids up here that are just like behind, bro, because they don't got that spring session to get the workouts in.
bro. Literally.
There's no camp circuits that are coming up here, and also it's just not a culture that's already put in place with recruiting from not being in the South, and just having like those satellite camps and stuff like that. So
Yeah, bro.
what do you think that the disadvantages are for being a high school kid in Ohio versus what you saw in Texas, as far as exposure and just being able to come to school developed?
I mean, spring ball one for sure. Like literally, like my stepson's school is like 5 minute walk from my house. So when they say they have spring ball, I'm thinking like college. Like they like no, we got spring ball. I'm like what? They literally have like 3 or 4 weeks of spring ball, and then they got a spring game, bro. So like that's extra reps and full pads that you get. That's a whole nother season of reps, bro, that you
Yeah.
get to get better, get coaching. And then like their field, so what I was telling them, I be telling them all the time, like the like advantages and resources they have, their field is always open. So I train them at their high school field. And then there's a middle school right here. Like when you get out of school, I know like in Massillon and in Canton, like the field is locked if it ain't no practice. You can't
Right.
just go out there and get work. Trainers can't just go to the field and use the field. They gotta like pay for it. I go over here for free and just train my kids over here. And then like they got hurdles on the field, like they on the track, so you can use hurdle, get mobility. They got like dummies out there. They got the sled. Like they got everything that the team uses out on the field just for anybody to use. Like that's crazy, bro. You don't got that in Ohio.
In
And
Ohio,
then
they locking everything up.
yeah, bro. After school, if there's no practice, it's locked. But then also like I train DBs and receivers. There's at least three other trainers that train DBs and receivers within 10 miles. So just that, and then you got other areas. I mean, Houston big as hell, but just there's trainers everywhere. There's way more access. Like in Ohio, like I said, there's two trainers in Ohio, the whole state that I know of, and one of them is my cousin. He just moved here, so now I only know one. And Duran, he just started coaching. I don't know if y'all seen with Chase Ferris. So he might not even be training as much no more. So like there's not a
Right.
lot of trainers in Ohio. And I went back to my camp, like I said, and I was teaching them little stuff like footwork and where to place your foot and not to false step and shit like that. And it's just like they're that behind that they don't even know shit like that. So
Dang.
there's a lot of like disadvantages being in Ohio as well. And you can't put pads on until August. I think that's
Yeah.
still a rule too. And then the
Well,
7-on-7, I think that just started as well. in
Right.
Ohio, but it's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
here. It's all
They
over.
actually-
It's like AAU basketball here.
And so you're a Carrie Coombs guy, right?
Yeah.
And I love Carrie Coombs. I love the energy that he brings, the way he developed you guys. And for me, it was painful to watch, our fan base kind of turn against him. And as a DC, I also think some things went against him and was a little unfair to him. But just speak on, what do you think Carrie's biggest issues, or did you have any takes on his second stint at Ohio State as a DC?
Yeah, I ain't really watch each game. Like I said, I don't really watch sports like that. Like I be watching highlights. I watch the big game always in the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like he shouldn't have been a defensive coordinator, or if he was, they should have like let him do him. I feel like it wasn't him running the whole thing like he wanted to. Um, but in general, I just feel like he should have just been the corners coach and then should like give him like a pay raise just to be the corners coach or something like that. And then special teams, that's what he does too. So like
Right.
he should have just been the same position that he was when he had all the success there. Like why change it up? You know what I'm saying? But as far as like the play calling and stuff, like I never really talk about like the play calling because I'm not in the building. So
Right.
I don't know for sure because it's like I said, the shit I was explaining in the Michigan game, but like the play call is bad, but it's just like shit came worse from the play call. So it's like it's on the coaches and the players 50-50. So
Right.
unless I'm there to see what's going on, like I can't really establish like what's what, who's this or who's that to blame.
Well, we have a question in the chat, which also ties into my next question with you, Gareon. They say, ask Gareon how often he goes back to the Woody, and does he interact with the current Buckeye squad? And I just wanted your take. Do you interact with them? Have you spoken to Coach Tim Walton? And how do you feel about former Buckeyes being coaches at Ohio State?
Yeah. So I remember Coach Walton was at the Giants when I was coming. Oh shit, when Eli went to the Giants, he had him, and
Mm-hmm.
then when I was coming out, he was talking to me. But that's really all I talked to him. But I actually went there Monday, this past Monday, right after my camp. I took my family up there because it was their first time in Ohio, and I wanted them to see Ohio State. So I talked to him and damn, I forget the safety coach's name, but I
Perry
talked to him.
Gary
Eliano.
Eliano.
Yeah, he cool. He cool. They both seem cool. But honestly, like because I've been rehabbing for 3 years. So
Mm-hmm.
that was my first time back in Columbus in 3 years. So it's just been like I haven't really been into like looking into talking to people, and I was really in like a low key, I wouldn't say dark spot, but I was just in like a low key, like I wasn't really fucking with nobody.
You
Like
just locked in on your own
yeah,
rehab and
I was
trying
trying
to
to
get
Yeah.
figure
better.
out, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like if you rehabbing and you know what you're rehabbing, it's just like cool, but this is like I don't even know what the fuck I was rehabbing. So I wasn't talking to nobody. Like I said, I didn't go to Columbus for 3 years. I know a couple players just by like name, like Marvin Harrison and the running backs and shit like that, quarterbacks. But I don't know them personally. I know Jaden Ballard because he went to my high school. Um, and he used to be at my practices in high school when I was like in my senior year, junior year. He was like 6 or 7 years old. His uncle was a coach. But other than that, I don't even really know nobody like that. So, but I told him he wanted to hit me up. He said he wanted me to get with the corners and stuff and talk to him. I told him whenever you want to, I'd definitely do that.
Bet. So
All right, go ahead, Q. I
Yeah.
know you got some stuff
Yeah.
cooking.
Yeah, they cooking me up because I had plenty of questions to ask. So
hey,
I was like, I'm
how
writing
much
these up.
time you got?
Yeah, how much time you got, man? But
I got all
so
day, bro.
yeah, I'm gonna ask some. I'll lead with some program questions, and then I'll ask some questions and more get your personal opinion on. So overall, you say you haven't been back to the facility a lot, but I do want to give your overall impression of Ryan Day as a coach. And do you think he's the guy to lead the program? So I'll start with that.
Yeah, like I said, bro, being in the building is different from looking on the outside in. Uh, at times there's just like I look at it as like I just be like man, Coach Meyer will be doing this, he would be doing that, doing that, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I said, it's to me it's always 50-50, bro. It's like coaching and then it's players. So it's just like if you got a coach that's like Coach Meyer, that's like hard on you, da 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 da, but then your players ain't really buying into it, then you got a bad program. If you got a coach like Coach Day, who's not as hard as Coach Meyer, but he's still hard, but he's giving you leeway, but then you got players that still don't buy in, like that don't like the way it is or do like the way it is, it's not going to be a great program. So it just depends on what's going on there. But from the outside looking in, like I said, I'm not there, so I'm not saying it's this or that. From the outside looking in, I just feel like the culture ain't the same as when I was there. Like we went harder like on certain things. We took more things serious, and I just feel like we had dogs, and that's on players. That's not on the coaches. And people be saying, "Oh, well, that's recruiting." I don't agree with that because you recruiting the player off what you see on film. You don't know how he is as a person or like what their mindset is because you got people that can hide in football that can be good, they can be talented, but ain't really dogs. Or the opposite, you can have dogs that ain't as talented. You coach them up to be good. But I feel like somewhere along the line, like the culture just ain't the same. Like, but I
Could you
heard when I went up there, that Coach Mick is doing some shit similar to what the year after we lost in 2013 in the Big Ten. When we went to that championship run. He was doing some shit like that in the off season. So
That's what I
hopefully that
like to
gets that
hear.
shit to turn around for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
could you feel the cultural
Yeah.
difference in the building while you were there on Monday?
It was they was off, so I
Okay.
don't even know. Yeah, they was, but that's what. So that's the thing, like, and that has nothing to do with the actual culture, I guess. But like the breaks they get, I be saying shit like that, and I be playing, but I be serious. Like they get hella breaks. I'm just like, we never was allowed to leave that motherfucker. Like
Everybody
they
like,
be
man,
in
y'all been y'all
California, they be
outside.
all over the world or all over the country, like doing shit, and I'm just like, bro, how is these niggas doing all this? But it's like
Yeah.
NIL,
Be in
it's all this extra
LA,
shit. You know what
shit,
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Miami,
Like I'm
like
seeing
vacation.
videos
They
of
be
like
at the NBA finals.
players hooping and shit. Like I'm just like, bro, how are they getting all this? Like May, it's called May Maymester. That's what we called it. Like that shit is by the compliance. It was voluntary, but we knew like, nigga, if you wasn't there, you weren't playing. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
but now they get so many breaks. Like I know, bro told me they got a break from like June 30th to like July 10th or some shit like that. Like we got the weekend of July 4th, and we was right back in there the day after July 4th. Like we
Damn.
never had breaks like that. So I just feel like it's just it's the times, bro. Times is just changing. So it's hard to find dogs as coaches and players because parents getting involved too. They don't want their kids to be coached hard. It's times is just changing, bro.
Yeah,
For
because
sure.
I did want to ask the biggest differences you see on the defensive side of the ball. I know you touched on not having dogs and things like that. Is that the main thing you see as the big difference?
Yeah, I feel like it's just it's the mindset, bro. Like,
Passive ass guys.
yeah, bro. Like I asked the player. I'm not gonna say his name, but I asked the player 2 years ago. I remember when they first lost to a team up north. I'm like, bro, what's going on? Like, am I tripping? Is it the players? Is it the coaches or what? And he told me he like, bro, they just don't recruit no dogs no more. And this is him talking about his team. Like, and he said that he like, bro, I love my team. I never like fought on my team. He was just like, but we don't got dogs out there like how we used to. They don't. He said they don't recruit dogs anymore. That's what he said, and that's coming from a player. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm saying, the recruiting you don't know. Like as a coach, I can go. A player can show me all this shit, and then when he get there, he might not be a dog. So it ain't necessarily on the coach recruiting. It's just like on the player. Like I put more on players than on coaches. That's just how I am. Cause like when we played, I know on my defense, any defense I was on at Ohio State, nigga, if say we was on the field and Fick or Shiano or Ash called some shit we ain't like man, what the fuck he calling this shit for? But we gonna make that shit work, like
Right.
type shit.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like it ain't like oh, it's just on the coaches. Like no, we gonna find a way to win. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that they
yeah.
think like that.
Yeah, because I think we either talked about it on here or in a space, but I had talked about during the Teton game where in the when it was going to the fourth quarter, you seen the dude on the Michigan sideline talking about
Mhm.
we're going to break. We know this is the moment that they fold. We got them. We can go ahead and do that. And I'm like, when's the last time we've seen that on the Ohio State sideline? Like,
Yeah,
The
they
crazy
don't
thing
do it.
about that though, Q, is
Yeah.
like they probably see that shit on film. Like
Yeah,
they see little
they
things
do.
like,
Yeah,
when
they
times get
bro, every
rough,
team
you
is
know.
smart. Yeah,
Yeah.
they watch film. They know what's up. But
Yeah.
that's what you see in games, though. I mean, it's unless we like blowing somebody out, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
it's just like a
Yeah.
mindset. The players gotta take over more than the coaches, bro. That's how it's always been. Power of the unit. That's what we call that shit when I was there. Like the units gotta take care of their unit on their field. Like Coach Meyer put so much emphasis on power of the unit. Like it was damn near. I mean, everybody knew he was the head coach, but it was like each position, that was your head coach. Like that's how much pressure he put on the coaches to make sure they had their players right. And we knew we didn't want to, because you got that bond with your coach. You don't want to
Right.
let your coach down. It's just like I fuck with Coach Meyer, but this is like I'm gonna play harder for my coach and Coach Meyer because he's not with me all the time. He not in the weight room or on the field at practice the whole time doing all this shit with me. So he puts more pressure on our position coaches, and we don't want to let our position coach down or our position. So it's gonna make our unit good. That's how the other unit's good. Each unit, and then we come together as a team because all of our units are strong. But I just feel like somewhere it's missed now, somewhere in there. I don't know. But they need to get that
Yeah.
shit right. Hopefully they will though.
I say hopefully. One of the questions I did want to ask, something I've seen that we talk about a lot here when it comes to recruiting in the current roster that we have is team speed, especially on defense. Do you feel like there is a difference? Because you guys were flying all over the field. Guys are moving, guys are flying to the ball. And I feel like now when we face dynamic athletes and they come up
Yeah.
towards the end of the season, we struggle a little bit. Do you feel like team speed has taken a step back?
Not necessarily. I think it's just like I said, mindset, bro. Like you can get a dude
The
that run a four,
mentality
yeah.
softened,
You can
man.
get
Like,
it. You can get a dude that run a 4.3, but he might not play. He'll play at a 4.6. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't necessarily the speed; it's the mentality to play at that speed. Like they say that shit all the time going in the league. Like somebody at the combine run a 4.4, 4.3, boom, boom, but they soft. They gonna play at a 4.6. Like so, it don't even matter. It's all about mentality.
Okay, 100. And I wanted to ask, actually, that's a good question because I want to ask your opinion on something. So obviously we had the combine last season and a lot of guys did not go test at the NFL combine. And it was questions of the competitive edge, like we already alluded to. What is your opinion on guys not testing when guys used to go there and we used to run 4.3s and 4.4s? You really saw the athletes that we had.
Yeah. Me personally, I don't care for the combine. I mean, it helped me. It's like a make or break. It helps some people. It doesn't help some people. I still don't like it. Like I told Coach Meyer, I said, bro, like I'm leaving regardless if I go first round or undrafted. I'm done. I graduated. I'm not doing another year of that fucking off season. That shit was crazy.
he was like, nah, bro,
But
it's over with for that.
but like that shit, the combine, it was the longest fucking 4 or 5 days ever. Um, but it helped me because I ran fast. But the only reason it helped me is because they projected me to run slow. So it's honestly
Right.
like depends on the analyst. So like if an analyst is just like saying you slow or you can't do this or do that, and you end up doing that at the combine, it boosts your stock. But like the combine is just I don't understand it. I mean I do, but I don't because it's not. It doesn't mean you're a great football player, but it just is what it is. But
You keep
I didn't do some tests at the combine.
How was
So
that talk with your agent? Like, was it your agent recommending you to not do certain testing things, or
for
was that
me, no.
all?
I
Okay.
just didn't want to do it.
Okay.
you keep putting emphasis on mental toughness and
Yeah, bro. I'm all
the
about that,
the
bro.
game that I think about that a lot of people probably don't think about when I think of that is when y'all played Clemson and we lost 31-0, right?
Man, I was
So
just
it's
talking
like
about that, bro.
So it's like to the average casual fan that never played ball, whatever, they look at that score and be like, "Oh, we was getting our ass whooped," but our defense was fucking with them. Like y'all was
Yeah.
Bro,
smacking them niggas,
we
and it was
had
like, but
2
our
picks.
offense was like. So what was that like mentally for y'all to be like, bro? Like The Clemson offense really not really fucking with us like that, but we're gonna be on the field all game because our offense can't get going, and you got to keep that positivity up.
Yeah, one
Ed
thing
Warner.
that year, man, bro. There's no way he should have been on OC.
Bro, y'all
But,
was on the field so much that game, bro.
I was
Like,
talking to Dorian. He played linebacker at Clemson. We was training at Exos. I was just talking to him about that. I'm like, bro, like we literally had 2 picks, and I want to say it was 4 or 5 sacks. And I was just like, bro, even if we lose, like with 2 picks and 4 or 5 sacks, you don't lose 31-0. Getting in the red zone 3 times, like that just don't happen, bro. But I mean, that whole year, everybody seen the offense, but like we had a hell of players on the offense too. So, like I said, it's 50-50 coaches. So, or coaches players. So it wasn't just all on the players. It was coaches for sure. But we always had that mindset of like we gonna pick up the offense if they're struggling. Offense gonna pick us up if we struggling. Like we just always had that mindset on every team that I've been on, from the championship year to my last year. But that shit definitely hurt. That being my last game, me having to pick the second play of the game, Malik having to pick, having all those sacks.
bro,
and
I
just-
was lit. I was like, oh, we lit, man. We got
it was,
it up.
it
You
was
know they
just
the
jumping
Hawks,
around.
too,
Damn,
bro.
bro.
I was like, bro, we got this. Then the game went on. I was
Yeah.
like, damn.
Ed Warner said,
three
"Here
and
I
out,
am."
3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. As soon as
Man.
I saw them 3 and outs, I was like, yeah, our defense.
Yeah.
Bro.
Getting tired as fuck, bro. But
Yeah.
still, like,
See,
even though it was 31-0, like, we still playing like it's 0-0 until the clock run out. That's the
Right.
difference, bro.
That was
See,
that
I ain't wanna
mentality,
ask that.
bro.
I ain't want to ask that for the sake of your mental health, so I tried to avoid that. But Cam snuck it in there.
I had to,
But,
bro, because he kept talking about mental, like being
Yeah,
mentally tough.
bro.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
damn, like they were
Nah,
still
fuck.
playing and like making
Yeah.
plays, and our offense was absolutely inept, bro, doing nothing. So
Yeah.
Ever since
But,
that game, my Michigan State, the championship year, people don't even realize like the championship year, I didn't even play corner for real. But ever since that game, when I got beat like real bad, like my mental toughness just elevated, and I had to like stand on that shit. So I take that shit serious.
for sure.
Speaking on that, I kind of wanted to talk to you about like how you were saying like how your mental toughness had to get better, because I remember that Michigan State game, man, 2014.
Yeah, bro.
They was picking on you, and I
Hell
think
yeah.
this might kind of turn into one of Q's questions as well. But talk about that development that you needed and what it took to go from being what you were in 2014 to being that first round pick that you turned on in the bin.
Yeah, so 2014, bro, it was me. So Duran was a starting corner already, and then it was me. Me and Eli came in the same year, and I redshirted my freshman year, and he redshirted. So the second year was 2014. Me and him were literally battling for the job in training camp, and I was ready to play. Like it was either going, and I'm not saying I would have won the job or he would have won it, but literally it was like Coach Combs didn't have a decision who was going to be starting week 1. It was a week before the game. I caught a pick in practice, and I was so high in the air that my feet like went up above my waist, and so I couldn't land. So I landed on my back, and I started having like sciatic problems. I had to get carted off the field, and so I didn't start next week. And not saying, like I said, not saying because Eli was my dog. Like I'm not saying I would have got the starting job, but there still was no guarantee that who was starting. But
Right.
because that happened, I knew I wasn't starting because I was hurt. So then I end up preparing each game because Coach Combs like you just always got to stay ready. So I'm preparing each game like I'm gonna start or I'm gonna play at least, and I just wasn't playing. So I started only playing special teams, and then by the time we got to Michigan State, that's like 8th game, 9th game, 10th game of the season. I'm to the point where I'm like, nigga, I ain't playing. So I'm just preparing for my special teams plays. I'm cool. So this man Eli got hurt in the game before the Michigan State game. He hurt his
Right.
hamstring. But it was like the end of the game, so I went in, of course. But it's just some little weak plays at the end of the game. So I'm thinking, cause he practiced all week, he like I'm playing, so I'm like preparing. Like shit, I ain't playing. I didn't prepare.
His ass
Didn't
was on
watch
that
film.
bike.
Didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
This man does the warm up, says he's good. We go out. We go back in. You know how we go back in before we come back out.
Yeah.
We come back out right before the game starts. Coach Combs coming to me like, "You starting? Eli ain't playing." I'm like, "What? Like, what you mean,
Big Ten championship?
Bruh.
Whoa!
I'm like, "Bruh, there's no way." So my heart just dropped. I'm like, "Bro, what? I'm starting like night game at Michigan State, bro. This is like
Mm-hmm.
our year. Like we undefeated." I'm like, "Oh no, we didn't undefeated. We lost to Virginia Tech, but we need this game."
Michigan State had beat
I'm
y'all up there
like,
this year.
"Bruh, all right." So I go out there. I'm shaking. First play, shaking. They run the ball. Boom, whatever. Second play, I'm out there on the island shaking. Dude run a post on me, and that's crazy. Like I was on top of it, but he caught it. Of course, when he catch it, my mind just go down the gutter. I'm like, "Fuck!" He caught the ball on me. He damn near mossed me. Caught the ball.
Yeah.
Next play, they do a motion back. I'm following him. They throw the ball to him on the out. He run me over, touchdown. I'm like, "Bro, what the fuck is going on?" Like,
He was like, bro, I wasn't even
I'm
planning
like,
on being
I
out here,
wasn't
bro.
ready for this shit, bruh.
Crazy.
Gary,
Was
Eli
not
on the
ready,
mic the
bruh.
whole time, like what?
I was not ready for that, bro. And but what's crazy is, bro, the whole time there was not one person that was like, "You suck, you this," yelling at me. Coaches, players, teammates, like everybody lift me up, like, "You got it, bro. Just stay in it." Boom, boom.
Yeah.
But myself, I was not picking myself up. I was just like, "Bro, nah, like I'm shitty. Like I can't do this." Like, and then it was like the next series, they caught like another ball on me. I think it was like a hitch or a curl or something like that. Caught another ball. And then Eli, bro, I don't know what in his mind. I still haven't asked him. I got to talk to him about it. But some in his mind, I think he either just he wanted to play bad or he just wanted to save me or both. Like he just was like, bro, like he came in and he played hurt the whole game. Like just took me out, and I was just like, damn, bro. Like I appreciate you because I just wasn't there mentally, bro. But then after that, what you about to say?
I was gonna say, at what point did you get that mental confidence back?
Yeah, so like after that, like I prepared like I was gonna play even though I didn't play. And I still didn't play the rest of that season. Like I played the end of the games, like I said. But like I prepared like I was gonna play again, like I was when I was thinking I was gonna be a starter. So I took that shit more seriously because
Right.
Coach Meyer always said like, be ready when your number's called. He called it competitive excellence, and of course, when you hear coaches talk, you be like, man, whatever. But then when it happened to me, I'm like, I took that shit serious. So then after that, like I just prepared like I was a starter every trip, even though I wasn't playing, and I just kept that mentality. And then the next year, I became a starter and then I had a really good year.
Yeah, so I did want to ask because we touched on it that secondary that you played on in 2016. I mean, just loaded
Yeah.
with first rounders, you, Denzel Ward, Marshawn, Malik, and Damon Webb. And I want to ask your opinion. Where does it rank on the best secondaries in the modern era? And I'm gonna name a couple just to refresh some minds. So that LSU 2011 secondary was Tyrann Mathieu, Morris Claiborne, who won the Thorpe, Eric Reed was a first rounder, Brandon Taylor. And then Florida State in 2013 had P.J. Williams, LaMarcus Joyner, Terrence Brooks, and Jalen Ramsey. So
Oh yeah,
where
LJ was
do you
tough.
think that secondary ranks up there as most of the best we've seen maybe since like 2010?
I mean, I'm biased. Of course, we rank one, like for sure. I mean, me, Marshawn. So what's crazy is like I was a captain my senior year, returning starter, and I was splitting reps with Denzel and Marshawn. But then I ended up started playing nickel, so we were all on the field at the same time. But that just shows how good they were. Like Coach Meyer, he don't care who you are. Like he playing the best players, and I had to take that as like I could lose my job if I ain't on my shit. And I could have been like, oh, like I'm the captain and been bitching about it and probably got my way. Like I would have stayed in the whole time. But I was cool with them coming in because I knew there was no fall off. And then I ended up playing nickel, so it helped my draft stock because I could play inside and outside as well. And
Right.
we all on the field at the
Yeah.
same time. So I put our definitely our secondary as number one. Then you got Malik, and then Dame. He used to be a corner, and they moved him to safety.
Yeah.
And honestly, where position he played, we called it Falcon, the field safety, and cover four. That's cover zero. That's damn near off man, and one. And then you got Malik basically kind of playing the post. So he was basically playing corner that whole time too. So our secondary was elite, bro. I definitely put ours as number one.
Okay. Yeah, I had to ask that one. I'm like, that secondary was just stupid.
Yeah, and we
So
scored
I
hella
do.
touchdowns.
carrying the offense a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to ask you a harder transition, just quick opinion. So, do you think it's harder to go from high school to high level, to high Division One college, or college to the NFL?
Depending on if you're talking about on the field or just off and on in general. So like from life, from transitioning to high school to college, that shit was way harder. Cause the shit that we went through, like with Coach Mick, like I said, I was leaving regardless my last year because I did not want to do that shit again. I told Coach Combs and my mom I wanted to quit my freshman year with training camp. So that shit, and then going to class, winter workouts, mat drills, like all that shit, bro, that shit was way harder. But as far as like the skill level on the field, the transition to the college to the league is harder because in college you'll play like a Akron University or whatever, and you got a game off damn near. Or like there was games where we played like Northwestern, I had 0 targets. In the league, you could play the worst team, but they got a star receiver. You know what I'm saying? So it's you could lose to any team in the league. It's
No
always
days off.
competition. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
feel like as far as football itself, it's hard to transition from the college to the league, but
Going
everything else definitely high school to college.
going back to what you were saying with Denzel Ward and how you saying there was no drop off and things like that. Here on Best Day Media, we had a whole segment going in about how we compared to Alabama, Georgia's, Clemson's, whoever. We have highly talented freshmen that weren't getting any snaps at all on the defense last year, like CJ Hicks, the Sonny Styles, like the 5-star freshman kids that were coming up, and we'll be blowing motherfuckers out, and they're not getting in the game. So, how do you feel about like that? Like, was that? How do you feel that affects a team as far as like a locker room when you're one of the most talented players, whether you're a freshman or a sophomore, and you're not getting any snaps? Do you feel like that negatively affects the work going into the week and then so on and so on when like we're going to blow out Youngstown State by 50 and I'm still not going to play, especially coming in as a 5-star athlete?
I mean, I don't know if the little eligibility rules have changed or not, but I know like if you play too much, then you'd be credited like losing a year of eligibility if you
Right.
played. So I know that's why I didn't play my redshirt year. But as far as like them not playing, like I said, I'm not there, but I know when I was there, um, if you didn't play, you weren't ready. That's just what it is. Like you could be a dog in high school. Like I feel like I was elite when I got to Ohio State from high school, and it showed me that I wasn't ready. Like
Right.
even though I felt like I should have been playing, you know what I'm saying? But I just looking back on it, I wasn't ready. From a technique standpoint, physicality, speed wise, none of that. So it just depends on what happens within the facility and with the program if they were ready or not. I feel like if they weren't playing, then they just weren't ready, either physically or mentally. Like shit, me, like my second year, I was ready, but then I wasn't because mentally I had to drop off. So it could be several factors for real.
Nice.
Oh, go ahead, Cam.
Oh, no. That's all I wanted to ask, because I know that
I didn't even know bro was a freshman. I heard of him, the Styles kid. They said he
Yeah.
was supposed to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, he came in early.
He,
He
yeah,
graduated
Oh,
early.
he
he
came
wasn't
early.
even, yeah. He really was supposed to be a high school senior.
But all I'm saying is like, I mean, it wasn't like our defense was just like super dominant and like niggas just
Yeah.
going crazy. So it's like I don't understand why young
Why
guys
they didn't
can't
put him
rotate,
in.
and get
Yeah.
reps. Like
Nah,
I don't
shit.
know.
I would have definitely tried to.
Like, you know what I mean? Like we had what,
Shit.
10
Just
players on
time.
rotation last year that didn't get drafted.
Yeah. Well,
So
one
why
thing I was talking about with my homie the other day is like at Ohio State, you only need 1 year for real, for real. Like if you
Yep.
think about it, like Marshawn, Denzel,
Malik.
Leak, like you only need 1 year, so
Dwayne.
you're gonna get your time. And another thing, like so like people they always try to go like to school where they just gonna play all the time and do all this like, and I could have did that. Like Cincinnati wanted me to play offense, defense. Team up north when they heard I wanted to leave because I wanted to play offense, they was like, "Oh, we'll let you play offense, defense," like telling me all this shit. And then like Coach Meyer, he said he recruited me as an athlete, but I knew he wanted me to play corner and shit, and I didn't even want to. But it's just like either way, I was gonna have to compete because we got dogs at receiver, we got dogs at corner, and it's just like I could have went to any other school and played right off the bat. But I know if I come here and earn my stripes at Ohio State, then I'm going to the league. Like,
So it was
so
a long term versus short term
yeah,
decision for you.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure,
Yeah,
bro. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
so it's
'Cause
just like, bro didn't play last year. He gonna get to show his shit this year, and he could fucking make his name just off of this year alone.
Yeah, because I did want to ask, do you worry about the modern high school athlete with NIL playing a big fat people can offer you, whatever? Do you worry
Yes.
that about people choosing maybe what they're going to get versus the best program that'll actually develop them and put them in places? Because we all see players go places and we're like, huh? Like, yeah, it was a little head scratching to be like, hey,
Miami.
I don't know how long. So I did want to
Yeah,
ask that.
bro. No, yeah. I mean, everything is give and take, bro. 50-50. I feel like the NIL, the transfer portal, it has its pros and its cons,
Yeah.
but it's definitely gonna be people going places to get more money, uh, than other schools, and you're gonna go to a lower school just to get more money. Because if money is your motive, then that's what it's gonna be. Uh, I mean, I'm happy for like that they get money and shit like that, but I feel like it should have been some jurisdictions or some more rules on it or something like that, because people just gonna be, like you said, just taking money and fucking up their career
Right.
just to get money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to the shit that come with money is that more money, more problems ain't cliche. Like that shit real, bro. Like that shit gonna add more and then it's gonna take away from your grind and your focus. So I just hope they keep their mind clear for real.
So you had talked earlier about seeing some of the Ohio State players all around the country during these breaks and the money that they're receiving in this new age of NIL. How do you think you would have handled it as a player, winning a natty, having that type of money and those responsibilities earlier than when you got to the draft and had to learn those lessons about money bringing more problems?
Um, I don't even know, bro. Like now that I think about it, like I wouldn't have done no like stupid ass shit, but I would have done some fried shit for sure. Like, 'cause I'm saying I didn't have nobody. Like I was the first person in my family to go to college, so like I didn't have nobody when I got to the league. Like I had nobody to tell me how to handle money. You know
He
what
would
I'm
have been
saying?
on
Like,
High Street in a Hellcat doing
yeah, what? I would have been
donuts.
going stupid, bro. I would have been going crazy because I ain't
Say
have no people
them
put me
clubs wouldn't have been
mentors.
ready for Gareon.
What? Like shit, my first year, bro. Like I was going back to Columbus, like lighting clubs up, bro. Like it was just, and it was on some dumb shit because I didn't have nobody to tell me better, you know.
Right.
And then I hired a financial advisor, and he was telling me like, bro, like you gotta chill. Like I had spent so much money going to Miami and going to here and going to here. I think I had went to like Vegas, LA, Miami, all in like a week, bro.
He was
Going
like, "This shit
stupid,
ain't
bro.
unlimited."
Bro, he flew out to Oakland. Like he ain't even called me, tell me he was coming. He just flew out.
Yeah,
He
look
like,
you in
you
the
in Oakland?
eye.
I'm like, yeah. He pulled up to my crib, like, yo, you gotta chill. Like, I'm like, damn, I spent this much money. Like, so like if I would have had that in college, I definitely would have been on some trash. But I think it would have helped me learn sooner rather than later as well. I mean, I feel like a lot of people gotta go through shit to learn, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like some kids will it's gonna make some kids, it's gonna break some kids. That's just how it's gonna go with everything else in life.
So I
Yeah, I was
kind of
gonna
wanted to
ask you.
piggyback off the NIL discussion. What role do you feel like former Buckeyes should play in this new era of NIL, and what type of responsibilities do you think, as former Buckeyes, you guys have to these collectives and helping these efforts to keep Buckeye football great between the foundation and 1870 society? Like, what role do you think former players should play in this new era of NIL for the Buckeyes?
Uh I mean, it just depends on if you want to be involved or not. Like me, I don't want to be involved in none of that shit. I'm cool. I'm good. I like to be low key and be away. So
I feel it.
I mean, I would be involved as if any player needs to talk or like wants to know about this and that or how to handle money or how to handle this or that or agent or deal or whatever. Like I would be involved in that. But I mean, I think I heard about Cardell doing some NIL agency or doing something. Like,
Yeah,
with the
Cardell works.
foundation.
He's on the board for the foundation. I know he does a lot of work with players and is very
yeah,
involved with that
yeah.
organization.
No, that's dope. Like, if you want to be involved in that, yeah, I feel that. But like me, I'm cool. Like, I'll come back. Like I said, I'll speak whenever about some real shit about my journey. If they wanted me to talk about anything, they want me to coach some players up, like get them training or whatever. I'm on that aspect. As far as like the NIL and all that extra shit, I'm cool. I don't need
So
to be
you're
in that.
saying that you're open to being an analyst or coach at Ohio State?
Me,
Yeah,
an analyst? No, I'm not an
but a
analyst.
coach?
But probably, if I would coach, it would be there. I don't want to be a coach because I'd rather be a trainer because
Right.
coaching has too much politics and shit. That's why I
Okay.
train right now.
Right.
Coaching just got a lot of politics and a lot of shit that come with it, and you work for somebody. Uh, I wouldn't take kindly to a Coach Meyer or Coach Day telling me how to run my corners. We have some problems, so
Yeah.
it just depend on that shit like that. But like, if it came down to it, I definitely would coach. But I'd rather be a trainer because I get to do things my way and be more specific and detailed rather than just coaching scheme and corners.
Right.
I just saw on Facebook Braxton Miller opening up the Charging Academy, and with Jalen Marshall and have some other Buckeyes and stuff coming up there. Are
Yeah,
you
I seen
involved?
that.
Are you involved with that, and or with him trying to start a new academy in Ohio for athletes to kind of get us to catch up with producing better athletes in Ohio?
No, but I mean, if bro want to hit me up, I definitely would help. I mean, it's kind of hard because I live in Houston, but
Right.
I mean, anything I can do to help for sure. So if you ever see this, definitely, if you want me to help, I definitely help because I know kids, one of the kids from the camp that I had just hit me up like, you coming back to Ohio, and it like hurt me to say like, shit, I don't even know if when I'm gonna come back because he
Right.
wanted like training and shit, but they definitely need it for sure.
Yeah, bro.
Hit
We
up
need
Maslin if you do.
we need
Tell them to
help.
go up to Maslin, help my Maslin boys out.
So,
Yeah.
Ohio State been working on, getting that pipeline and getting some talented guys from Glenville, man. I know you played with some Cleveland guys, some
Yeah.
Glenville guys, and me being from Cleveland, man. You got
Here we
any
go.
funny stories or anything about them Cleveland dudes, man, from the Ville?
I don't got no funny stories, but them boys wild though for sure. We play with a
Yeah.
lot of them. Cardell, Marshawn, Eric
Chris
Smith.
Worley, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Worley, that's my dog.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, you was talking about
yeah.
dogs. Like, talk about that dog mentality that they brought to the team.
The Glenville boys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like Eric Smith, like everybody knew. So it was crazy. I remember Devin. Y'all remember Devin Smith?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
Yeah.
that's like my cousin, bro. Like we went to Massillon together. We went to Ohio State. Uh, but like when he got to Massillon, I wasn't playing football. So when they played Glenville in a playoff game, he was saying like they was talking shit before the game, and then like one point in the game, they picked up like their biggest lineman. One of the Glenville dudes pick up Maslin's biggest lineman and just dumped his ass. He said everybody after that was shook. Like nobody was talking shit. They just got their ass whooped. And he said niggas was wearing grills, all type of shit on Glenville team.
Let's go.
But I remember that, and then I just remember being at Ohio State. Like you could just tell, like coaches wasn't. You know how coaches talk shit and yell and scream at niggas, like they wasn't talking to anybody from Glenville like that. Like they knew, like, man, I ain't fucking with that. I remember Coach Combs had yelled at Marshawn. It was crazy. Marshawn not even like the aggressive type dude or like, but
Yeah,
I mean
he
he about
chill.
that. But like he yelled at Marshawn. He said something. I just remember him apologizing to that nigga. I was like, what?
He was like, sorry, I don't want any problems, bro. Don't get Gen Senior on my head, man.
We need them 2 and
Nah.
6 boys back in the building, man.
Fucking
I've been
mob
telling
ties in
everybody.
Ohio, bro.
But
Gen
no,
Senior,
yeah,
fucking-
they always dogs though, bro. Like straight dogs, like Bo
Mhm.
Geese. Rest in peace, my dog Bo Geese. Bogart.
For sure.
Marcellus was actually a good ass player too, bro. Marcellus Jones, bro. He just was tweaking off the field. Marshawn, Eric Smith, bro. He was a dog too,
Yeah.
bro. I just feel like he didn't get the opportunities he
It was
deserved.
a crowded room.
Yeah, it was a lot of people, but he was a dog, bro. All them Glenboy boys are some dogs. for sure.
So, I mean, anything now that you want to get off your chest and say, Gareon, and we're gonna get to some questions
No, I
from the
ain't got
chat.
nothing.
Anybody got any chats for you? All right. Anybody got chats?
Yeah.
Any questions for Gareon in the chat? We got
We
4
have a
right here
couple.
that we highlighted.
We have a couple that I saved.
Hold on,
Someone
Ron, let
asked
me
if you're
plug real
familiar
quick.
with someone asked if you're familiar with Jim Knowles' system and do you like it?
Like I said, I don't even be watching for real like that. I don't know.
Do you have a Mount Rushmore of Buckeyes?
The 2016 DBs. Actually, the whole
Oh, yeah.
the
That's all we
defense for
need.
real though, low key. Like I love my defense from that year, bro. I just love that defense, bro. Like I talk to everybody from Ohio State still, like love all them, but like that defense of 2016, like they're my dogs for
That was
sure.
what Sam Hubbard, Tyquan Lewis on the D
Yeah,
line too.
Tracy
Yeah.
Sprinkle, Mike Hill, Worley, Sean, Leak, Dame, Denzel. It was a lot of us, bro.
Yeah, tell my
Do you have a
grandkids
favorite
about that
play as a
defense.
Buckeye?
You said what?
Do you have a favorite play as a Buckeye?
Favorite play? Man, I got a couple. Damn. I mean, one of my favorite plays, obviously, the Team Up North game. Cause dude, I think it was Peoples Jones. He was number 9. I want to say that was him. He was number 9 my
Yeah, that
last
was
year.
him. Yep.
Yeah, so he ran an angle route. So they motioned back, they motioned left, and they motioned right. They motioned back, and he would run like a angle route. So he'd go out and back in on the slant. He got me on it like second quarter, and then I missed the tackle, and he got like 20 yards, I think. And then they came back to that play in the fourth quarter, and it was our last play on defense. And he ran the same shit, and I played it off like I didn't know, and then I broke it up, and damn near saved the game. And then Curtis scored, and we won. So that'd probably be my favorite play for sure.
Yeah, DPJ was supposed to be with y'all, man.
Oh, you submitted?
Nah, I mean there was rumblings about him coming to Ohio State, but I think he believed all the hype that Harbaugh sold him. So.
Yeah.
What was
he definitely should've came here.
what would you say the toughest wide receiver you had to play in college?
In a game?
Yes, sir.
Or practice? If there
I
was a
mean,
Buckeye
yeah,
better than
In
anyone
general,
else.
bro,
in
like
general.
our receivers easily by far the hardest receivers to guard in college football. If I would have played, I would have said Amari Cooper because he was a dog, but I didn't play that year.
Yeah.
But our receivers like made us better for sure. I feel like nobody was better than our receivers. But in a game, I think and I wouldn't even say the hardest, but I think like the toughest matchup who probably caught the most passes on me was Mike Williams from Clemson. Chris Godwin was good too. He scored.
That's why he asked that question.
Austin be happy.
Oh,
did
he got
that.
the Clemson thing.
Cheesy Tigers. Cheesy Tigers.
And he set you up for
Yeah.
that. And he was like, ask him who's the
I
best.
think he
wide
only
receiver.
had like 2 catches on me for like 20 yards, if that though. He had like a 1 catch because I was off, and I told Coach Combs I didn't want to play off, and then he caught like a slant on me and got like 8 yards. That was it. But them dudes at Ohio State, like our receivers, them like shit. Our scout team, I was telling people like our scout team wasn't a scout team. Like our scout team was Joe Burrow, Dwayne Haskins, Paris Campbell, Terry McLaurin, Benjamin Victor. Like that's not a fucking scout team.
They was like, hey.
Mike Weber, like come on, bro. This
Yeah,
ain't no
Mike
fucking
Weber,
scout
yeah,
team,
for
bro.
It'd be like, bro, we supposed to be working on drills and shit. These
Yeah.
motherfuckers
You're
first
supposed to
round
be
draft
like,
picks.
you know, when you go to scout team, you like chilling, like I could play around and still break up the pass.
And they
like,
trying to get playing
yeah,
time, so they
tryna get
going
playing
hard.
time. Man, what? You tell the nigga like, bro, y'all need to chill out, bro. Over here snapping on this. Oh,
Yeah.
bro.
But yeah, if y'all have any more questions, go ahead and throw them in. I do want to plug our Discord will be in the description. We are on there a lot. That community is growing, so tap in with us. We could do a lot. We could watch YouTube video games and all that good stuff. Also, make sure you hit that like, sub, and comment down. Let us give us some more questions. I'll say we got anything else, guys?
If you ever down to watch some film or something, man, we'll be on the Discord, bro. You know You can
Yeah.
break down some stuff, some inside stuff that people don't know with the games and stuff like that. The fans will love to hear that shit because
Yeah,
there's
when
so
y'all do
many.
that.
Bro, whenever you want, man, we can set it
Yeah,
up.
we'll
You get
send
some
you
of your
the
teammates
Discord link for
and
sure.
somebody down, and we can watch some of the games y'all played, and y'all can give us like some insight because you know the people like us, bro, armchair coaches, bro. We think we got a fucking clue what's going on, but you told us so many nuggets about a game. It's like, oh wow, I didn't even know that. So
Yeah, no, I definitely do
especially that
that.
Michigan game, y'all went in overtime. That's
Yeah.
that's the one. So
Yeah, that game
I'll
was
hit
crazy.
you up whenever you want, man. Get some guys together. We'll watch that on the Discord and go from there.
Yeah,
So,
let me know, bro.
for sure.
I will have to warn you, Cam is going to be yelling about the D line, especially if it's recent years. You're gonna turn your volume down and be like,
Hey, I'm a trenches guy, man. So I watched the game from
That's
the
where the
trenches
game
out.
wins.
Like
Hey,
some
we
people
we
watch
might
like
have to
deep
put some
secondary
cam film on and let you grade that out, Gary. Let Gary grade that film.
Chill, man.
That's where the game is won, though, up front, bro.
But hey, man,
The
appreciate
trenches.
you sliding, bro, for sure, man. This was cool.
Appreciate you pulling
Yeah.
up on us. This was great.
Yeah, appreciate
Yeah,
y'all
looks
having
like
me
we,
on, bro.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
For sure. Hey, Gareon, where can our fans find you at? And let them know the latest things that you are doing right now.
My IG is underscore G Conley 8. My Twitter is the same thing, underscore G Conley 8. I'm in Houston. I live in Houston. Trying to get back in the league. Just finished rehab 3 weeks ago. So I'm basically back and just getting in shape, try to get a workout with a team. I do a podcast. I'm waiting on to set everything up with me and my cousin. We're gonna do a podcast. Hopefully within the next week or two, start a podcast. And then I'm definitely trying to do this documentary. I had a couple people hit me up already, but anybody that wants to do a documentary, or like help with that, I want to do a documentary and write a book on like my whole journey from football to not playing football to starting playing football to college to rape case, first round draft pick, injuries, rehab, coming back. So definitely want to get that rolling.
For sure.
If you're ever in the DFW or Frisco, hit me up, man.
Man, that's where I did my rehab at, bro. That's
See,
crazy.
man?
I was there since what, February.
Yeah.
I just finished 3 weeks ago. Yeah, that's where Devin. I was over there with Devin and Zeke. We was training at Exos. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
They
about
still
Zeke at the club. One of my friends do security there.
A Zeke club story.
That's common, bro.
Everybody got one of those.
As long as he make the workout, I guess.
That's what Zach Smith said.
That's
Zach
exactly
Smith,
what Zach Smith said.
Zach Smith was like, bro, he was like,
Yeah.
Zeke be out there partying and shit, but he'll come in and
bro.
run for 200 yards on motherfucker. They was like, all right,
So they
fuck it.
didn't
What
say
we gonna
nothing, bro. Bro, we should be out and have 5:45 workouts. We'd be in that bitch hurting. But if we do the workout, we performing. Like, what can you really say?
Zeke was just different. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's facts. But I think Charles Greenlee throw his in here. Do you think OSU become BIA again? Obviously, with the slack a little bit at corners and safeties the last couple seasons, do you think they will make a return the next couple years?
Yeah, I think they can, bro. I mean, I feel like the whole team itself can be a championship team, or just caliber, you know what I'm saying? BIA can definitely come back, but it's just mentality, bro. Like somebody gotta step up as a player and get the other players to realize like it's on us. And like even if it's on coaches and on recruiter, whatever, like we gotta take over all that shit. Like everything is on us. Put everything on us. Like when I tell my corners when I'm training, the way I thought that when I play corner, if it's cover 3, it's cover 0. If it's cover 4, it's cover 0. If it's cover 1, it's cover 0. If it's cover 2, it's cover 0. Like put all the responsibility on you and then just take off from there, bro. Bring people with you.
Yeah.
But I feel like they can, bro. They just gotta get their mentality right. And that culture gotta be like that.
100%. All right, well, we'll go ahead and wrap it there. We appreciate you, Gareon. Mike, go ahead and close out. Let us know where people can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at 216_wildboy. I'll be on the Discord. We're always watching film, talking in there. So definitely hop in the Discord. You don't want to miss it.
Cam?
You find me at I Know Things 19, and also in the Best Damn server in Discord. We're gonna have some things coming up in the pipeline. I think y'all gonna like. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to find me at City Boy Quentin on Twitter, find it Johnson on Instagram, and obviously tap in with me at the Discord. Hop in there. And Gary, I appreciate you coming on here, man. You're welcome anytime. Go ahead, Ron, get us out of here.
I
Appreciate
just
y'all
want to give
having me.
another big thanks to Gareon for showing up and doing the show for us. This was an amazing show. You can find me on Twitter at 2_T's. You could find me on Twitch at 2_T's. And then you could find us on our Discord. The link is in the description. And yeah, if you want to pull up and hang out with us in the Discord, talk to us. We're going to have a lot of things going on this season. So that's going to be the place to be for college football communities. We appreciate you guys tuning into this special edition of Buckeye BS with our guy Gareon Conley, and we will see you next Sunday at 10. Appreciate you guys for pulling up, and big thank you again to Gareon for doing this for us.
Thanks, bro.
Appreciate y'all.
And no disrespect, Indiana.